Good Tuesday morning, and welcome to Ice Age TV, the internal combustion engine age YouTube channel that shares information about cars and trucks and dogs and personalities and the times. And hey, good morning, everybody who's watching my channel. Appreciate you showing up this morning to watch my videos. Really do appreciate the people who do follow me. I really do. That's why I do it, because I feel like there are individuals that like to hear me talk and give ideas. And I'm not a big channel, but you know what? I have fun doing it. And hopefully my content helps you understand things or looks at things, or who knows. I mean, I just like to share ideas. I just like to talk. Just like you and I hanging out right now together this morning, and we're drinking our coffee together, and we're just talking about different things, and hopefully we can kind of be on the same page. Not the idea to be the problem solver of the world. That's not my YouTube channel. I'm not the YouTube channel to tell you, come on, no, where are you going? Come on back here. Come on back in the barn. Oh, she's on a mission. This isn't the problem solving channel. So I just like to talk. Have you noticed? I just like to share my views and ideas, and yeah. I'm sure some will turn it on and turn it off quickly. Some will turn it on and watch it thoroughly, right? So, boy, so I got my tray nice and clean, and I think the birds have kind of laid off crap all over the damn thing. So, come on, baby, let's go, come on. Got the fleet of cars here. What's my problem, right? We all know what my problem is. Yeah, I've got problems. I know that. Hey, I got a note app that the truck is fully charged. Day going here. And ride around working on my truck, because that's what I do now. And boy, I tell you what, I'm putting in 10-hour days, 12-hour days. I mean, I'm running, it's a one-man show, so I'm doing a lot of work. So a lot of people are probably, if you're kind of paying attention, you don't see me do much stuff anymore in the middle of the day. Yeah, it's back to reality. It's called having to work every day, all day long, which, dang it, did I get that? I did. So, beasts. Come on, let's go. Get in here. This my camera needs to be a little clean than the other side. Looks pretty good. I think the other side's got a little blemish there. But anyways, yeah, I can tell. See the finger? That's a fingerprint or something on the camera. So, all right, puppies, let's get up here in the office this morning. My assistant helper will be here a little later, the kid, to help get the day going. And I guess we'll get some heat on. Not really that cold, though, but I'll just turn it on just to kind of do the thing. My Indian and my cars, and yeah. So yeah, the problem. I thought to myself today, the morning conversation can be about problems, and yeah, what spurred that on? I mean, sincerely, it's me just really thinking off the tip of my head, not the tinfoil head, right? And tip of my tongue, and just coming up with some content that I kind of just feel like we should talk about. So my thoughts for this morning were, I think we ought to talk about problems. And boy, oh boy, I tell you what, there's a lot of problems going on right now in this country. And it's not like, I mean, for anybody here that's been around long enough, it doesn't matter which governing body has been in charge. And that's just kind of crazy about the political conversations that you can get tarnished on and shut down. It doesn't matter what party's in office. There's going to be divisions. There's going to be differences of opinions, whatever. And if we can all look at each other and say, yeah, can we all just kind of try to make the problems go away? Yeah, right. It's not going to happen. It doesn't matter who's in charge. Always will be problems. But here's what I'm thinking about, and I like to take, anybody that's new on my channel, I like to take the car theme and talk about the things that are in the car industry that kind of relate then into the state of the times. And without trying to get anybody mad and violent. And, prayers for the family in Nashville today. That's kind of hitting close to home. My mother and a lot of my family are from Tennessee, and my cousins and uncles, and that was really where I spent a lot of my time growing up, was that Nashville and southern part of Tennessee. And so just to see what transpired yesterday from an individual that, I mean, Insider heard about that shooting. They said, well, here's an individual that's mad at somebody, and it's all about the revenge. And that's what it was. So sadly, this individual had difference of opinions, probably, and they went and took it out on others because they didn't like the way they felt they were treated. That's how it all plays out. People kill each other because of the way you feel you've been disrespected, and the list goes on and on and on. But anyways, let's not dig into that. I'm not. It's just beyond saddening. So anyways, so I get to think of myself problems. Tell you what, Ford. We'll just use kind of Ford, kind of the problem, and we'll kind of use the electric vehicle problems. I've read in pretty good length yesterday about how the electric metals. Electric metals are the metals put in electronic devices, electronic motors, and it's very thin metal. I'm guessing it's like aluminum foil as far as like the thickness of it would be my guess. I'm not the expert on this product by any means. Others are, but the U.S. Steel Company and other manufacturers of this electric metal, they're raising their hand and saying that with this new EV revolution upon our door, they're going to be just seriously challenged to get the EV thin, very, thin EV metal, or I should say thin electric metal, to support the electric car movement infrastructure that's need to be used in the technology's electric vehicles. So they're just saying that that's an expense in itself. And you can take up to a year, like 80% of the products coming from like China and some other countries to this country, and it can take up to a year for you to get your order. So if you place an order for this, really thin manufactured metal, it can take, a year to get the product, and it's already challenging. So, so already people are saying in the industry, here I go. It's my morning cough as I get going in the morning, which it's kind of seems to be the normal thing for me. But anyways, the EV challenges. I think that the electric vehicle problems are just going to start to be magnified more than ever. I think, and don't get me wrong, I'm a businessman. I'm a person that tries to overcome the obstacles and the challenges. So I'm no idiot to life that the EV challenges will probably be met and probably be resolved. But at the same time, it's a lot of, we're just kind of going such a gray area. And oh wow, so they're showing the pictures in this business news of this woman that showed up in the school blowing out the doors with her rifle and on her mission now to go start terminating people. Wow. So I haven't seen this video. I don't watch news. I mean, I can't emphasize enough that I don't watch the news because it's then I'm just rehashing what you've already seen on the news, if you know what I mean. So I just don't I really don't. I'm just too busy. I'm always out and about doing things. I'm out in the field. I'm outside. And so anyways, Ford, I think Ford could be a really good example right now to show what's going on in the industry. And this is what I hear from non-Ford dealers, and I even hear from the Ford dealers. So the language is kind of the same. And I did a research this morning on what vehicles in a 100-mile radius on cars.com, what's available in the market. So if you're listening to my conversations, I told you here like a week or two ago that there was like 61 or 64 F-150 Lightning trucks for sale. Well, this morning, actually, there's like 54 of those. So like 10 sold. And the one that I ordered last year that came in December, it's still sitting down at Kuhn Sterling Ford. So my truck now is getting ready to be close to a 5-month inventory truck. But it's not cheap. It's $88,000. But what I hear from individuals is there's no profits. There's no Ford is losing money on their electric vehicles. So there's nothing there. So there's just nothing there. So for the selling Ford dealer, back when I was buying mine per se in the market, the profit center, like my Mustang Mach-E, these dealers are charging $5,000, $10,000 over on these cars. So they were very content, very satisfied for what limited product they could get and sell them. Now, the selling dealer, there's no incentive to sell the vehicle because people won't pay the ADM anymore. So there's just no. So if you as a salesperson, yeah, I mean, is your duty to the dealership, and as a dealership's duty to the consumer, they got to sell the car because Ford has brought it to market. But it's not a profit center for them. So they're not really not, unless on the back end, here's the challenge. So do the mechanical, buy the mechanical, maintenance program for the truck. What's the mechanical maintenance besides rotating the tires, filling up the windshield washer fluid? So there's no money there. If the guy's kind of doing his own thing, his own money, there's no gap insurance money. The warranty, I guess there's some money there for the dealer to do. But I mean, overall, there's just nothing much for the Ford dealer. And this is what I hear. So not only do I hear this at the Ford side, where as a person want to buy a car, there are always presentations. We don't make any money off this car. We don't make any money off this car. But I hear from other dealers as well that the Ford electric vehicles for the Ford dealership infrastructure, they don't make them any money. There's nothing there. It's because Ford's losing money to make them. So they're not going to just continue to lose even more money to try to get off their lots. But at the end of the day, they may have no choice to even keep on losing more money on that. So for the Ford dealer network, their position, I can promise you behind the scenes, is, hey guys, what are you selling today? And I can guarantee you in the meetings is, I sure hope I ain't selling no electric vehicle today. Because the salesperson, they're like, there ain't no money for me there. And then the selling dealer's like, right. So I'd be willing to venture the enthusiasm at the average Ford dealer on the electric vehicle is probably pretty much not even there. And then a guy like Iceman shows up with his electric vehicle, and all they're thinking is, there's a profit center if the guy lets it go for stupid money. There you go. So if I show up right now with my electric vehicle black truck, they're going to give me, I would say, $60,000, maybe $65,000. So okay, so there you go. If they could get it for 62, I can guarantee a guy would probably come in the dealership and probably pay 68 to 69 for that truck because they know that same truck, brand new, was close to $90,000. And just like the Mach-E Mustang, that car was like $74,000. I'm getting hit with like a $50,000 trade. So if I go into the dealership and trade that in, they're very excited about that car because they know that the guy won the Mach-E, that they've got a $50,000 car now. They'll probably try to get $59,900 out of it. If they get $55,000 out of it, they're like, we did it. We're making money. So for the electric vehicle infrastructure, it just isn't a lot of electric vehicles being traded in to give the dealer, like it would be one thing if a guy's buying a brand new F-150 Lightning truck, and he's trading in his older F-150 Lightning truck, and now the dealer has something to use to make money on. And at the same time, if the dealer gets a trade of a nice vehicle for the new electric vehicle, then there's no doubt they're going to be a little more excited. Be like, we'll definitely let this F-150 Lightning vehicle go because the guy's giving us a good trade, so we'll just make our profit center off of that. So that makes sense in that aspect. But just selling outright, got to get my coffee. Jeez. So Ford now has Trust the Truck, the new T3. So apparently Ford is going to have an updated F-150 Lightning by 2025. And it's going to be called the T3, but it's Trust the Truck. Trust the three T's. Trust the Truck. The three T's. That Ford's going to bring a whole new autonomous driving Ford Lightning updated, better truck that is going to be like even more special, and it's going to drive the people in droves to go buy it, right? And Ford is now disclosing their 3-year business plan of where they will be profitable by 2026. And the analysts are saying the only way Ford is going to be profitable, maybe, is if they can cut the cost by at least $15,000 on their back end on these cars per car. If they can cut that $15,000, but at the same time, I think to myself, wow, they've got a major problem. Why aren't the people in the droves going to get these electric vehicles right now? Why? A year ago, you couldn't find these vehicles. So for me, it's like, Ford, you have a problem. Hey, Big Auto, you have a problem. The consumers aren't going in the droves to buy these cars. I mean, they're not. Now, I can assure you that the Porsche dealer that gets the very small production electric vehicle, those are sold. They're gone. So the very high-end status electric vehicles, Tesla, it's a following, so I can't see the Tesla product not continuing to sell well and continue on its path because there's so many Tesla followers and current customers. So that niche is there, but that's a niche. It's just X amount of people. It's like motorcycles. The motorcycle industry at one time kind of slowed down. And it was very concerning years ago that the motorcycle industry is going to attract the younger generation to kind of keep the motorcycle passion alive. And even Harley Davidson has talked about it for years. At my age group and older, we're the dying breed. So they're the dying customer base. So their problem is who's going to replace their style of cruiser touring bikes. Is the younger generation going to really want that product as time progresses? And Harley is, for the most part, seems to be doing a pretty good job to keep their customer base. But at the same time, they've lost a lot of that base too. So for Ford, for me, I think Ford's a good example right now of the business model of the basic sales and the basic interest in these electric vehicles, and you just have to honestly say that it seems like the consumers are just not turned on to this idea that they want these electric vehicles. And now if the gas prices are borderline half, they're not, but I mean now you get $3 gas. I've talked about this all the time every day. Is that the oil a year ago, the $5 gas had the whole media machine just ramping up the EV agenda. And it's because the perception was you buy an EV vehicle, you don't have to go to the gas station, and there's a problem. And this is sincere because I'm in the industry. The gas station industry has a big problem. It does. The gas station industry is already seeing a decline in users of their stations because people have different lifestyle habits. I mean, the remote working is not as dominant as it was during the pandemic, and there's articles being written about this in great length about how the remote working is kind of coming to an end, and many more businesses are really getting more strict on saying you're going to have to come to office. I mean, at least you're going to come to office at least 3-4 days a week or whatever it may be. So the remote working for the majority is not going to be the ball game, but there always will be remote working, and I always think it'll be a more flexible schedule. But at the same time, for the gas station industry, they have felt the pain because people don't travel to work like they used to. And even in some aspects, I think it's catching up a little bit that these automotive shops, not all of them, but I think the automotive shops have probably seen kind of the ups and downs because people aren't using their cars as much to get back and forth from work, so they're not wearing them out as quickly. So I would bet some of these auto repair guys say, yeah, it kind of comes in waves. We kind of get a lot of work, but then it kind of that's what I hear. When I'm out in the field talking to my customers and all, I just hear it's like, it's like one day it's deader than a doornail, another day it's busy as all get out, and it's different. It used to just kind of be steady, but now it's more like they're just have nothing to do, but then they have a ton of things to do. So it just goes in cycles. And so how does the gas station industry resolve their problem? And here's the thing. These gas stations, people think they have these big margins. They don't. The jobber is the actual oil company, gas station delivery company, meaning that if you're a gas station, you have to have a contract with a supplier to sell you fuel to your station. Well, these jobbers are tightly monitored by the governing bodies of our states and they have to be very careful on doing price fixing and market um, zone pricing. I mean, you got to be really careful on that. And what goes on is, if you're a gas station owner, you have to abide by the jobber's pricing. So they're gonna sell you fuel, and then they're gonna say you got to kind of keep this price at this. You can't be doing crazy price increases, because what the jobber does, he just charges you that for that. He knows they have the computer links to your gas station. They know, everything's so computerized these days. The jobbers know when your station needs fuel, because it's technology of the underground tanks. I mean, when I was in high school and I was at the gas station, I used to have to go out and get a big long stick that was like 12 feet long, and I would have to drop it in the tank and take it out and write on a piece of paper what the no lead 87 octane tank was, what the 89 octane tank is, what the 91, so you had regular no lead, mid no lead, then you had premium no lead, then you had diesel. So I had to get all those different readings for the manager of the station to figure out how much fuel he had to order. But they don't do that anymore. It's all electronic. So the whole point is, the jobbers know what you're doing at your gas station. So if you got a gas station, well, screw the jobber. Today, I'm setting my gas prices at $3.99 when they're telling me I should be at $3.49. Okay, all the jobber does is charge you 50 cents more on your next load of fuel to offset the profits you make. You think I'm making this stuff up? I'm not. So the jobber industry in so many ways controls the market. Yes, it's very radical. But it's sad, because these gas stations have worked off of volume sales. I mean, it's a no-brainer. If a gas station can get like a 15 cent, 10 cent margin, and he sells 300,000 gallons of fuel, then he's got a 10 cent margin, 30 grand. If he has a 15 cent margin, it's $45,000. But that's not a lot of money, because the rent at these gas stations in these more metropolitan areas, these rents can be anywhere from $15,000, $17,000, $20,000, $26,000 a month. So for you as a person selling gas that made $30,000 profit off the gas sales, well, if 20 grand goes to rent, you have 10 grand left to pay payroll. And in today's world, that ain't a lot of money. That's not a lot of money to hire 3 people. You're going to pay a guy $36,000 a year to come work for you in the D.C. metro area. Guy's better off sitting at home and collecting unemployment. I mean, that's what goes on. So the gas industry has a problem, being that it's seeing the less travelers in more efficient vehicles and electric vehicles. And then somebody say, yeah, but these Tesla charging stations are at these Sheetz and Wawas and rural farms, and they're at the Buc-ee's. And yeah, Buc-ee's got a great business model, I'll tell you that. It's all about the inside store sales. That's what that's all about. So, but at the same time, these gas stations, as they see the decrease in their volume, the jobbers aren't letting them raise their margins. But yet in every other sector of our economy, we've seen businesses raise their prices substantially, but to kind of offset that volume selling. I mean, has anyone kind of figured that out? I mean, the car industry lost. I mean, the new car industry was like 11 million cars sold last year. A good year is 18, 19 million cars, 20 million, 21. Well, what'd they do? They raised the profits. They raised their margins big time, and that's like car dealerships. Instead of selling 500 cars, they were selling 250 cars. Well, they just doubled, tripled, quadrupled their profit center and their margins to offset that loss. But like in a gas station guy, he's not allowed to do that, because then he's called out. But I tell my gas station guys, like, hey, the person's complaining about the gas price. I'll be like, let me ask you a question. It was me, and I owned a gas station. I look at the person and say, let me ask you a question. I used to see you come to my gas station like 2 times, 3 times a week, pre-pandemic. Now you come to my gas station like once a week. And you're complaining to me about the gas prices, which I don't control. The jobbers control that. And you're complaining to me. I'm like, I don't understand this. You're paying more money for gas. You're not. Because if you, let's just say for the heck of it, the person, went to the gas station 3 times a week when they commuted back and forth to work every day, right? And let's just say that the gas was $3 a gallon, right? $3 a gallon. And let's just say he put an average of 15 gallons in his car times 3. That's $45 times 3 days a week. That's $135. Now he comes to my gas station, and the gas is now $4 a gallon, right? $4 a gallon. But he only buys 15 gallons for the whole week. That's $60. So his gas bill is half. But that person would still argue with you that you're ripping me off. And I pay too much for gas. I mean, it's just, problems. We all have problems, don't we? I mean, problems. And so we talked about the car problems, but they all relate to the governing bodies of our country, of where we're going with this green agenda that's creating so many problems. I mean, it's just incredible. And we don't have a true business model. Just like I was telling about Ford. Ford's telling everybody that by 2026, their divisions, they're splitting off the electrical division from the gas, the ICE division. They're intentionally just splitting everything up. And see, and the real underlying message there is Ford really wants just to dismantle the Ford dealer infrastructure. Is anybody getting this? They're giving these dealers electric cars to sell with no margins. So unbeknownst to the average person, the big guys sitting up back end going, let's just see if they do it. Let's just see if they do it. We're giving them these cars, and we're giving them little and nothing to make profits off of them. But they'll get creative in other ways to make profit on these cars. But on our side, let's just see if they do it. Let's see if they buy into the ball game. And then it's changed a whole different mentality for the Ford dealership infrastructure that we just get electric cars, and they just ain't much money in, but that is what it is. And that's just they just have now manhandled you for the back end, laughing under their breath and how stupid you are. Right, but that's the whole point, is that Ford's projecting these incredible sales through their electric vehicles that are going to offset their manufacturing costs through such volume production. That's going to make them a healthy profit in 2026. And most analysts you're talking not even 3 years now. We're in 2023. We're going into the 5th month of the year already. It's only 2.5 years out for their sales to be, stratosphere sales. Wow. So anyways, so you go to the governing bodies, you go to the world governing bodies. The EU is in negotiation with the automotive union, with the gas stations, so they want to try to get the alternative fuels over there. I'm trying to think of the name of the fuel, and it's I just total mind blank. But they're trying to over there negotiate how 2035 isn't the end of the ICE vehicles being sold, and what the conditions are. That the ICE vehicles sold can use these new type of fuels that won't be carbon footprint fuels. So synthetic fuels. So it's synthetic fuels. So over there in the EU, it's ongoing negotiations that is talking about how they're not going to shut down the sale of ICE vehicles as long as the ICE vehicle can run on these synthetic fuels. But it's ongoing, so it's kind of like up one day, it's down the next day. And it's because the fuel station industry and those European bodies, they're like, we're done. We've now got but they're not. I mean, so I think to myself, sincerely, in 2035, is it going to be like only cars on the road anymore or electric cars? I can't see it. It's not. We know that. We all know that in 2035, could you have 25% of the marketplace be electric vehicles? Yeah. I mean, in the rich LA, New York, the DC, in the rich areas, could you see 50%? Possibly. But that's where I've said it earlier. Is then the gas station, you have to take a whole different approach to how they sell fuels at these gas stations. And I tell these gas station people, like, you have to go renegotiate with your jobbers that you used to sell 300,000 gallons a month. You're now selling like 200,000 gallons a month. This business model doesn't work anymore. And the consumer isn't getting hurt because the consumer isn't driving like they used to. And the consumer has a more fuel-efficient vehicle. But yeah, that can be argued all day long because the despise of the car dealerships, despise of the gas stations. I mean, I get all that. People are like, car dealers make way too much money. Gas stations make way too money. Yeah, okay. Well, until you're in those other side of the side, you don't really understand that. And yeah, the car industry, I'd agree. Their problem has not been making money, but now you hear the problem. I mean, these YouTubers, these other YouTubers, you see it. I see it on the YouTube channel. They're all saying there's a huge problem for the automotive industry. It's huge that the industry's getting ready just to the lights are getting ready to turn off. It's bad. I mean, this is our YouTubers that this morning. Do I have a big picture of all the car dealers, all the cars sitting in a junkyard, new cars because they can't sell them? Is that what lures somebody to do the clickbait on my video? That I'm telling you that all these car dealerships have all these new cars that just be towed off to the junkyard and to be thrown in the pile and melted down because the EV, the green agenda, just loves how the ICE vehicles quit being sold. And I mean, you can do this type of clickbait type of luring people into your channel. I mean, that just isn't who I am. But that's what these guys do. So they're all these others say there's a huge problem. The automotive industry is getting ready to be in dire straits, and it's a huge problem. But around here, the local Dodge or Jeep dealers here over the weekend on a rainy day, there's people there buying cars, driving cars, tech driving cars. I mean, there's a huge problem of what is factual and what is not. That's where we are. I mean, more than ever in our lifetime, it's a huge problem of what you hear about, what you read about. Is it factual? I mean, is it truth? Is it lies? I mean, more than ever, who doesn't just think they start reading stuff? It's just like, yeah, there's an agenda. It's a conversation. It's manipulation. It's trying to accomplish something. It's just incredible, too. I talk about it all the time. When you try to force things onto others, how does it usually play out in the end? And if you've been around long enough, oh, boy. Does it always just kind of the truth shall prevail? I mean, what's going on right now in our country? If you're following what's going on, the problems we have, the forces to be, they're forcing things onto others. They don't want anything to do with it. And what's happening? I mean, I could talk all morning long on that. So, all right, I'm going to kind of leave it at that. I'm not going to get into too much of the political conversation, all that, just because I'm out of time. I just had a lot to share with you, and hopefully you can just hear what I'm talking about and just kind of scratch your head and go, yeah, I know. It's just incredible the problems that we have in front of us. I mean, are they being magnified because of the force of change? I think they are. I really do. It's the force of the future, what it's going to be versus what it really is. And yeah, can you argue about that all day long with somebody? I mean, sincerely. You can argue. I mean, it gets maddening. Yeah, it can get very bad. Or can we all just kind of look at each other and say, who the heck's creating all the problems? And can we just eliminate those people? And there's the problems resolved. Hey, that's a good idea. Wow. Hey everybody, thanks for watching my channel. Appreciate the support, the nice comments. What am I doing today? Working. Yeah, I'm working. That's what I've done most of my life, which is work. That's why I really didn't have a YouTube channel. Didn't have time, per se, so many years ago. And, I didn't ride motorcycles so many years ago. I couldn't, and there's so many things that I couldn't do because I've always have run my own company and my own business. And so I just have been the one-man show for so many years. And then I've, finally kind of found somebody that helped me out a lot. But that's all gone now, so I don't know. Very debatable. And also, it's really interesting. My business is so cool that if there is a local guy that's really the perfect person, and anybody there listening to my YouTube channel, I'm sincere in this, a perfect person for my business that would be in this DC metro area would be a retired person that just wants a gig like 2-3 days a week. It'd be a person I could help train that would, you could make some good, decent money. I mean, I'm not embellishing here. You'd make some nice, money working part-time. But I really prefer like a retired person because my business doesn't really require somebody here every day doing something. And it requires more of somebody that can be on duty a good 3 days out of the week, sometimes 4. But then when I go away, I need somebody to be able to know how to do the basics while I'm away. And I just see myself, wow, if I just met the right guy that was a retired person that had mechanical skills and had good driving skills and liked to get out and about and do things, this would be a great gig for them. And but I say pray for a miracle, and I do that every freaking night right now. Pray for a freaking miracle, and I just think at some point somebody's just going to show up, and it's like bam, there it is. That's it. That's the person I really need. Is somebody that's already done well in their life, and they've got income, but now they have a second thing where they make nice side income, and they're not in a full-time job. And so, anyways, if somebody there watching my channel knows somebody, hey, reach out. And they need to be, but it's a lot of driving. It's 150 mile, 200 mile days. So anybody that lived like 50 or 100 miles from my business, it wouldn't work because you're going to be doing 300-mile days. It has to be somebody within reason of 25, 30 miles, driving to my business here and then getting on the road. And they're going to have to drive 150, 200 miles. So somebody does 50 miles from here, drives 50 miles here, then drives 150, 200 miles, and then has to get back. That's a long day. That's a lot of driving. But I don't know. Anyways, hey, everybody, just thoughts and ideas and views. So once again, thanks for watching my channel. God bless. Stay safe. Stay tuned.